You know exactly what I'm talking about. Something goes wrong, the pressure builds, and instead of reaching out, you just say, I'm fine. You take it all on. You manage it entirely alone. But beneath that highly capable exterior, you are secretly, deeply exhausted.
So why do you wait until you're completely underwater to even consider asking for help? You literally minimize your burdens until you're at your absolute breaking point, and even then, something inside you physically tightens and pulls back.
Most people think you're just stubborn or maybe a bit too proud. But here's the truth we're uncovering in today's explainer. It's not pride, it's protection. Your absolute refusal to ask for help is actually a deeply ingrained survival mechanism. And once you understand the 5 psychological traits driving this, you'll finally stop blaming yourself. But here's the catch. To get there, we really have to look at what you're hiding.
Section 1. The weight you carry alone, surviving in secret. Okay, let's dive into this. There is a massive gap between what the world sees and what you actually feel. On the surface, people see resilience, maturity, and strength. They think you've totally got it all together. But underneath that armor, there's isolation, exhaustion, and a quiet, hidden grief. It's the heavy grief of feeling like you have to do life entirely on your own. And you know, that grief stems from a silent conclusion your nervous system made a really long time ago. My needs make things harder for people. You learned early on that your needs were just, well, inconvenient. You probably noticed the subtle sighs or the emotional distance when you needed someone close. So what did you do? You learned to shrink your needs to keep the peace. Section 2. Needs, reliance, and hidden costs. The price of self-sufficiency. Here are the first 2 traits of hyperindependence. Number 1, you learned your needs were inconvenient, which we just touched on. But number 2 builds right on top of this. You trust yourself way more than you trust support. You are incredibly capable. You survived things privately that most people couldn't even imagine. But because of that, help now feels like a costly exposure rather than actual relief. When you survive things privately for long enough, a core belief takes root. I can only truly rely on myself. Your mind basically makes this your only trusted home base. You start to really believe that letting someone else in will just lead to disappointment. I mean, will they judge you? Will they disappear when it actually matters? This is exactly why receiving support feels so incredibly unnatural to you. For you, psychological control feels safe and predictable. It's a closed loop you manage. But care feels like exposure and vulnerability. It's exactly why you might physically tense up when someone offers you genuine help. Your nervous system literally registers care as a potential threat. Section 3. When vulnerability feels like danger, the risk of being seen. Now, what's really interesting about this is that it leads us directly to the next 2 traits. Trait 3, you confuse vulnerability with absolute danger. And trait 4, you feel entirely responsible for managing your pain alone. For you, saying I need help isn't just a simple request. It literally feels like standing completely exposed in a room that suddenly has no walls. You associate being seen in a moment of need with deep shame and extreme risk. So what happens? You automatically invalidate your own pain before anyone else even gets the chance to. You probably tell yourself something like this: other people have it worse, I should be able to handle this. You're overly responsible. You became the easy one, the mature one, the person who decided never to add to the tension in a room. So you just swallow your pain and carry it in total silence. The striking truth is this: emotional privacy became the most reliable form of protection you ever found. People might tell you that you need to communicate better or that you need to just open up more. But your closed-off nature isn't a lack of communication skills. It is a highly calculated risk management strategy, brilliantly designed by your brain to keep you safe. Section 4. Independence as a survival identity, becoming the strong one. You see, independence isn't simply a preference for you. It is your identity. You were probably praised for being the one who never needed much, admired for handling things all alone. Over time, your survival behavior merged completely with your self-image. You became this rigid character, the strong, contained one. And now, you're terrified to break out of it, even when you're completely running on empty. And this brilliantly illustrates the crucial difference. Healthy independence says, I can do things on my own, but I can also receive support. It comes from a place of confidence. But defensive independence says, if I can't do it alone, I feel exposed and unsafe. That comes entirely from fear. You aren't protecting your freedom, you're protecting your vulnerabilities. So I want you to just pause for a second. Ask yourself, did I choose this independence or did I build it to survive? Really let that sink in. Did you actively choose to carry the weight of the world, or did you do it because early on you had absolutely no other option?
If you built it to survive, you need to finally let yourself believe this. You are actually allowed to have needs. You are not wired wrong. Your past required you to build this heavy armor, but you no longer need to strictly enforce it. You are absolutely allowed to receive care without having to earn it through exhaustion first.
Let's move to section 5, the path to true strength, redefining resilience, and see how this builds.
Because real strength is not silent suffering. It's not carrying everything alone until something inside you quietly snaps. Real strength is having the full capacity to be human. It means allowing seasons, not failures, but normal, necessary seasons, of being supported by others.
The opposite of hyper-independence isn't helplessness, it's trust. That is the massive paradigm shift of this explainer. Healing means slowly, gently, and courageously rebuilding trust, trusting that someone will hold part of what you've been carrying without making you feel ashamed for needing them.
You are only trying to survive in the way your mind learned best, but now you get to learn something different. So, which of these 5 traits feels the most personal to you? Drop your answer in the comments right now. We read every single one. If this explainer finally gave language to the weight you've been carrying quietly for years, make sure to subscribe. This channel is built for people like you who protect carefully and need a space to finally be understood. And if you're looking for tools and resources to help navigate these patterns, check out the links we've included below. But I'll leave you with this final thought. If you spend your whole life successfully proving that you don't need anyone, who is going to be there when you finally do? Until next time, keep learning and keep growing.